In the build-up phase, Portugal were building the game in back three. Portugal's centre-backs were split and the Portuguese midfielder was slotting in between the centre-backs. Switzerland were pressing on with front two in the first phase and the position of Switzerland's front two was central and narrow. In the first phase, two Switzerland played involved in the press, so Portugal's backline had a 3-2 player number advantage in front of Switzerland's front line. Switzerland's front two were central, so goalkeeper had easy outlet as centre-backs were in the wide zone. Portugal were in back three as the Portuguese midfielders slotted in between the centre backs. So Portugal's fullbacks had a license to push high, and you can see here Portugal's fullback position were high when Portugal were building the game in back three. Portugal's fullbacks operated high and wide, allowing Portugal's winger to move inside. Portugal's fullback were playing as an inside forward due to the fullbacks operating high. The position of Portugal's forward was narrow, so Portugal's narrow front three were forcing Switzerland's backline to operate narrow. As we discussed, Portugal's fullback position were high. Switzerland was in the mid block, so Switzerland was mostly protecting the central zone. So when Portugal's fullback were receiving the ball in the wide zone, a player from Switzerland was in the wide zone to close down Portugal's fullback. So when Portugal's fullback were receiving the ball in the wide zone, Switzerland wingback was ready to press Portugal's fullback. As we discussed, Portugal's forward line was operating narrow, so when the ball was played forward, Switzerland defense was 3 versus 3. You can see here Switzerland's wingback were pressing Portugal's fullbacks, and here is his position. So now Switzerland backline was 3 versus 3 in front of Portugal's forward line. So when Portugal's inside forward was receiving the ball, the right wide back was forced to close down Portugal's inside forward. While the Swiss wide back was committed to the Portuguese inside forward, Portugal's attacking midfielder and fullback were ready to make runs. Because Felix's dribbling ability is excellent and he held up Switzerland wing back and wide back. Now Switzerland wing back and wide back were high, so the left channel was completely open and Portugal's fullbacks already made the run. Now the wingback of the near side was committed to the right back of Portugal, so Switzerland defense was 2 versus 2 in transition and Portugal's fullback goes forward and Switzerland defense was 3 versus 2 down. Portugal striker and inside forward were central and held up Switzerland remaining defense. Portugal fullback free in the left channel and the Portugal striker play passed over the full Portugal fullback and the goal for Portugal. Now let's see how Portugal were pressing when out of position. In open play, Switzerland were building the game in back three and Switzerland wing backs were operating high and wide. Portugal's defensive shape was 4-4 and was pressing with front four. Portugal's front line was not dedicatedly pressing Switzerland backline and Portugal's front line was operating deep. Portugal's front line was blocking the passing lane due to the Portugal's front line operating narrow and the pures of Switzerland were not able to receive the ball. So Switzerland was being forced to build the game from wide. Now Portugal's 4 versus 3 press when Switzerland centre-backs play passed towards Switzerland wing-backs. Portugal's winger was ready to press Switzerland wing-backs, and while Switzerland wing-backs were receiving the ball, Portugal's midfield drifted wide to press Switzerland attacking midfielder. Now you can see here all three Switzerland midfielders were under pressure when Switzerland wingback was receiving the ball and were not able to receive the ball, and Switzerland wingback was being forced to backward passes. If in case Portugal's midfield was split and Switzerland midfielder was receiving the ball by dropping in, then Portugal's center midfielder was ready to press Switzerland pivot and the remaining midfielder were covering Switzerland attacking midfielder. Now Portugal had the number advantage, so Switzerland pivot was forced to play backward passes. As we discussed, Switzerland wingbacks were split and the wingbacks were pushing high. So when Switzerland wingback was receiving the ball, Portugal's fullback was ready to track back Switzerland wingback. And while he was receiving the ball, Portugal's player were drifting wide and blocking the midfield passing option. The rest of the Portugal defense was drifting wide when the Portugal's fullback was pushing high. So it was a 3 versus 3 situation. If Portugal's remaining back three drifted wide, then the right channel was opening up and the Switzerland right wing back was free to go forward into the channel.